When it comes to kids, there are a lot of relationships that help mold the type of person they will become. One that shouldn't be overlooked is the role that grandparents play.
Making the most of your time with your grandchildren is as important to the balance in their daily lives as it is yours. Kim Jacobs joins us now with some suggestions to make the most of it, to really enhance that relationship with your grandchildren. Kim, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you all?
Fine,
Good,
thank you
good.
so much. I have such vivid memories of visiting my grandparents in Seattle every summer and the precious time that I shared with them that I still remember to this day. And it meant so much. They're really critical relationships, aren't they?
They're extremely important. I loved all of the relationships that I had with my grandmom. My grandmom, I have 3 grandmothers actually, and they're all older, into their 90s, so that's a very important time.
When it comes to fostering that relationship and nurturing that relationship, one thing you would urge grandparents to do is be clear what you want your role to be. Explain that.
What I say is that it's important to be clear as a grandparent. Whether you want to be at any of the events, then make sure that you tell the parents in advance, I would like to be at all of the extracurricular activities. Don't leave me out of anything. I do want to babysit, I don't want to babysit, because that's very important too. You may be forced to babysit much more than you ever anticipated. So if you're not clear as a grandparent what you would like for your role to be, then your role will be created for you. And I think that's important.
Ah, that's good.
Yeah.
You're right. You'll be babysitting every weekend before you know it. So if you're not signing up for that, you need to say that.
Right.
Yes.
And as being the grandparent, you are in charge of telling the stories of the family, are you not?
Tell all of the historical moments. What was it like to raise the actual parent of the grandchildren? It'll be funny to them. What was it like when you were growing up as a grandparent? Trust me, the grandkids will die laughing just to hear what it was like without television, microwave, cell phones. They can't even imagine those times. So just imagine you telling all of those historical moments. Who was the first person to graduate from college? Any things that are important in your family, make sure that the grandchildren know about it.
I think kids, too, like to hear stories about their parents when their parents were children. Those are great stories to share. I think kids like to hear that. Honor the parents' rules and reinforce them. If you are the grandparent, you don't get to swoop in and change all the rules that mom and dad have set.
It really makes it more difficult for the parent if you come in and say, oh, well, sweetheart, just forget what mom and dad said, and you can stay up as late as you want. You don't have to eat all the candy and sugar, anything you want. Here at grandmom's or your granddad's, you can do whatever you like. That's just making it so much more difficult for the actual parent when the child has to go home. So if timeout is what the parent does, then you honor timeout and when you have the children as well.
Even though you think you've earned that spoiling, behave yourself. I love this one. Don't show favoritism.
I literally beg grandparents to not show favoritism, because the grandchildren, they recognize that you like that one better than the other. So if you're going to spend that one-on-one time with one of the grandchildren, make sure you designate some other time on your schedule for one-on-one time with the other grandchildren, or just don't do it. And God forbid, please do not give a gift to one child and don't give a gift to another child if there are multiple children, because it's not fair, and the children recognize it. And actually, some of the children say, did you bring one for me, Grandmom? Did you bring one for me, Granddad? And it's not fair. I know. It hurts.
I agree. Yes, just don't do that.
That's
Make
a touchy spot for me.
Were you not the favorite, Kim? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Do creative activities with your grandkids.
Anything other than just the typical stuff that they do right now. They're used to the controller and they're used to all of the electronics. So get away from that. Do board games, do puzzles, do anything like a hobby. My grandmother, who's 91 years old, she actually did crocheting with my children once, and they learned how to thread the needle and how to actually make something towards the blanket. It was just like one little stitch. That was it, but it was fun, and they were mesmerized by it.
How do you stay connected with your grandchildren if you live far away from them?
It can be through Skype. They have the Tango. Regular old basic mail. My mom still mails regular old school mail. It works perfectly. Whatever works for you.
It's very nice. Oh, Kim Jacobs, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great advice.